27. It is what it is. Yeah. There's a gross fingerprint on my water bottle. That's not important, but you know. Friends. Friends. A lot of times, friends are the only good thing in my life. And I include my siblings in that category. Also, holy heck, the lighting in here is so good right now. I'm so sorry. Circle back around. Focus. There are a select number of people in my life who I actually see in person, who know me well enough to tell me things about myself. Not just like, you know, you like this movie a lot. You prefer when the lighting is this way in a room. Those are observant things. Ultimately, cool, glad you noticed. I could have told you that. I probably did. I talk a lot. That's how it is. No, it's like you're sitting in a Zoom call with your sister and your brother-in-law, and one of the coolest people that you're friends with in your life. And that friend looks at you and is like, this is the thing about you. I know this is how you are. I know this is hard for you. I've also seen you make a lot of progress. Frick. And there are some friends that, like, they just give that. You don't expect it, but you aren't surprised when it happens, you know? Like, they give in the same way I give, where they present these things with love, freely, and say, I know this about you. This is important. This is something I want you to understand that I understand. And I love it, and I live off that type of building people up. I live off it because I give it back. And that's the only way I can, like, function properly sometimes, is to have that refuel, because I give that way. And there are certain people in my life who don't give back that way very often, because it's not something they're as comfortable with, or it's not really the way their brain works. It's not the way they love people. And because of who I am as a person, those are the people that I long for it the most. Like, my sister can tell me things that build me up all day, and I'll soak it in. But it's like the sponge has a limit, and once the limit is full, I'm satisfied. And when it's the friends that don't give that way, it's like my heart just, like, can't. My heart is that sponge, but the sponge keeps getting squeezed out. And then I need more. And so sometimes, instead of just pouring water onto the sponge, that friend picks up the sponge and just dunks it in water and keeps it there for a while. And sometimes you're sitting in a Zoom call with your sister and your brother-in-law and one of your closest friends, one of the coolest people you know, and that friend picks up that sponge and dunks it in water and keeps it there. And that's, I'm a writer, and I can't write words that describe what that feels like. It's not possible for me to just summarize that. I could try for days and weeks and months and years, and I would still not be able to fully describe how it feels to be that sponge and just be full. It's not something I can write. I can describe the scenario, I can't describe the feeling. And I'm a feelings person, so I should be able to do that, right? It's not possible. I make jokes about, like, me as a person being attracted to other people who are less emotionally available or less freely giving of emotion is probably a kinder and more generous way of describing it. Those are the people that I long to be with the most, or the people that can't give that way all the time or don't think about it. And for a while I was like, meh, that's not really a thing. And then I have moments like tonight, I'm like, yeah, that's a thing. That's who I am. Constantly longing for that sponge to be filled up by people who I am so fulfilled by, but not to the same extent that I wish I could be, until they do. I feel like I could go in circles about this forever, because then I would say, like, specifically what statement someone had made that meant that much, and someone else might be like, really? That's what was so important? Like, you really took that to heart that much? Yeah, I did. And this isn't even an example, this is like real life. When you have the friend who doesn't say I love you very often, because that's just not something they do. And then they tell you that twice in one night, unprompted. Taking that sponge, dunking it in water, and keeping it there. Got a lot of feelings at 1:36 in the morning, obviously. But it just carries so much weight. Like, heck, I can't describe that. I've been trying for almost 10 minutes, but I can't describe that. It's beautiful. I freaking love it. And every person in my life who has fulfilled my soul's longing to love has that equal value in my mind. But then there's a special compartment in my mind for the ones who don't realize that's where they are. And yeah, I work a little bit harder to make sure they know. So when it gets shuffled back, that's the good stuff. Because you can squeeze that sponge in the water all you want, and it may let the water out, but as soon as you let go again, that water's there. It's not going anywhere. You're just in it. Freaking love it. This is one of those nights where you have a deep talk and you feel grateful for it, and you feel grateful for vulnerability that is not often offered in that setting. And then you're like, I gotta talk about it, but also you can't. So you just sit in it and feel those feelings and try not to think about how you have to work in the morning. Because that's me right now. Little old me. Unlike a lot of the things that I've said recently, this doesn't feel stupid. This feels important and necessary. I'm so grateful for relationship and parallels, honesty, gradual openness, safety, being offered the opportunity to be safe for someone else. That's the good stuff.